I used to think being quiet meant being loyal. I thought working hard without complaining would make people respect me. Most days, I came home tired, broke, and invisible, but I kept telling myself it was temporary. Just a rough phase, I'd whisper while counting coins on my bed. "Why are you still working that job?" Lena asked one night, sitting across from me. "It pays the bills," I said. "For now." She sighed. "You always say that." "I'm trying," I added quickly. "I really am." She didn't answer. She just looked at her phone. Mark laughed from the couch. "Man, you've been trying 4 years." I smiled like it didn't hurt. "Everyone moves at their own pace." "That's one way to say it," he said. I worked 12-hour shifts, sometimes more, stacking boxes, cleaning floors, doing whatever I could get. My hands hurt all the time. My back never stopped aching. But every night, I told myself love would make it worth it. "You're strong," my mom used to say on the phone. "You'll figure it out." "Yeah," my dad added once. "Just don't expect help forever." "I'm not," I said. "I just need time." They always said they believed in me, but their voices never matched their words. One night, I came home late again. Lena was already in bed. "I saved you dinner," she said without looking at me. "Thanks," I said. "I'll eat later." She turned toward me. "You said that yesterday." I was exhausted. "You're always exhausted." I sat on the edge of the bed. "This isn't easy for me either." She rolled her eyes. "Everything is hard for you." That one stayed with me. Mark started dropping by more often. He'd bring food, jokes, noise. Lena laughed more when he was around. I noticed it, but I ignored the tight feeling in my chest. "You don't mind if Mark stays, right?" Lena asked one evening. "Why would I?" I said. "Good," she replied. "He gets me." I told myself that was normal. Friends were supposed to understand each other. At work, my boss yelled at me for being slow. "Pick it up," he said. "You're replaceable." I nodded. "Yes, sir." When I told Lena, she shrugged. "That's life." "I just needed to vent," I said. She sighed. "I can't fix everything for you." "I didn't ask you to." "Feels like you do." I stopped talking after that. Mark started answering Lena's texts when I didn't. I noticed the missed calls on my phone, but I told myself it was coincidence. "You didn't call me back," Lena said once. "I was working," I replied. "You're always working." "I don't have a choice." She laughed softly. "You always say that." At family dinners, my uncle asked, "Still at the same place?" "For now," I said. He smiled politely. "You should think bigger." "I am." "Thinking doesn't pay rent," he replied. Everyone laughed. I did too. Later, my sister pulled me aside. "You okay?" "Yeah," I said. "Why?" "You look tired." "I'm fine." She hugged me. "Don't stay stuck." "I won't," I promised. But I was stuck, and everyone knew it. One night, Mark and I stood outside smoking. "You ever think Lena wants more?" he asked. "Everyone wants more," I said. He nodded. "Some people don't want to wait." "She loves me," I said quickly. "I'm just saying," he replied. "Time changes people." I laughed it off. "You worry too much." He didn't smile back. Lena stopped asking about my day. When I spoke, she checked her phone. When I dreamed out loud, she went quiet. I want to start my own business someday, I said once. She blinked. With what money? I'll save. She laughed. You can barely save yourself. I swallowed. I'm serious. Be realistic, she said. Dreams don't mean much without results. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling. She's just stressed, I told myself. She doesn't mean it. But the whispers started. Conversations stopped when I entered the room. Lena smiled differently at Mark. Mark avoided my eyes. You're imagining things, I whispered to myself. One morning, I checked my phone. No messages. No missed calls. When I got home, Lena was dressed up. Going somewhere? I asked. Out, she said. With who? She paused. Mark. Oh, I said. Have fun. She hesitated. You're not mad? Why would I be? She smiled, relieved. You're so understanding. I watched them leave together. That night, I sat alone eating cold food. I replayed every conversation, every laugh, every silence. They wouldn't do that to me, I said out loud. Not them. I still believed loyalty mattered. I still believed love meant patience. I still believed if I endured enough, things would change. I didn't know I was standing at the edge of something that would erase the man I was trying so hard to be. I came home early that day. My shift got cut, which almost never happened, and I told myself maybe it was a sign. Maybe I'd surprise Lena. Maybe she'd smile the way she used to. I unlocked the door quietly and stepped inside. Lena? I called. No answer. I heard laughter from the bedroom. Soft. Familiar. My stomach tightened, but I still walked forward. I told myself it was the TV. I told myself I was stupid for worrying. Then I opened the door. Lena froze. Mark froze. My brain didn't. What is this? I asked. Lena jumped off the bed. I can explain. Mark stood there, silent. Explain what? I said. What am I looking at? It's not, Lena started. Don't, I said. Just don't. Mark finally spoke. Man, calm down. Calm down? I laughed. You're in my bed. Lena cried. It just happened. How long? I asked. She looked away. How long? I asked again. Mark sighed. A few months. I felt something crack in my chest. Months? You were never around, Lena said quickly. You were always tired, always broke. So you slept with him? I needed something real, she said. I was real, I whispered. Mark shook his head. You were surviving, not living. I turned to him. You were my best friend. He shrugged. I warned you. About stealing my girlfriend? She chose me, he said. I looked at Lena. Is that true? She didn't answer. I stepped back. Say it. Yes, she said. I chose him. My knees felt weak. Why didn't you just leave? Because you would have begged, she said. And I didn't want to feel guilty. I laughed, loud and empty. That's considerate. Mark crossed his arms. Look, man, it's not personal. I stared at him. You're serious? You weren't going anywhere, he said. She deserves more. She deserved honesty. Lena wiped her face. You're making this harder. I'm making it harder? I asked. You're in my bed. She raised her voice. I waited for you to change. I was working, I said. For us. For nothing, she replied. I grabbed my jacket. I'm leaving. Where will you go? Mark asked. Anywhere but here. Lena sniffed. Don't be dramatic. I turned back. You already replaced me. What more do you want? She hesitated. I want you to understand. I nodded slowly. I do. I walked out. I called my mom from the street. Mom, I said. Can I come home? She paused. What happened? Lena cheated. With Mark, she asked. Yes. Another pause. Relationships are complicated. I need a place to stay. She sighed. Your father thinks you need to grow up. So that's a no? Not right now, she said. I called my dad. You let her walk all over you, he said. I trusted her. That's your mistake, he replied. I hung up. I sat on the curb and stared at the ground. My phone buzzed. A message from my sister. I heard. I'm sorry. That was it. I slept on a bench that night. The next day, Lena texted me. We should talk. I replied, there's nothing left. Mark called. Don't make this messy, he said. You already did, I replied. People change. So do loyalties, I said. He hung up. I went back to the apartment to get my things. Lena stood in the doorway. I packed your clothes, she said. Thanks, I replied. She bit her lip. I didn't mean to hurt you. You just didn't care, I said. That's not fair. What part of this is fair? She looked down. You were dragging me down. I carried the bag out. Mark watched from the couch. No hard feelings? I stopped. If you ever wonder why your life falls apart one day, remember this. He laughed. You sound bitter. I sound honest. I left. My family group chat lit up. Maybe this is for the best, my uncle wrote. You need stability, my aunt added. I typed, I needed support. No one replied. I realized then that I had been alone long before that day. They just finally stopped pretending. I walked the city with nowhere to go. Every step felt heavy. Every memory burned. You'll be okay, I told myself. You always survive. But survival felt empty. That night, I lay on the floor of a cheap room I rented with my last money. I stared at the ceiling and replayed her words. You weren't going anywhere. I clenched my fists. I trusted you, I whispered. No one answered. I wasn't angry yet. I was hollow. And in that silence, something inside me died quietly, making room for something colder, something I didn't recognize yet. I woke up on the floor with my neck stiff and my phone dead. The room smelled like old paint and regret. I sat up slowly and laughed to myself. So this is it, I said out loud. No one answered. Downstairs, the manager watched me walk out. Payments due tonight, he said. I know, I replied. Outside, the air was cold. I checked my pockets. $37. I shoved my hands into my jacket and started walking. I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I couldn't stop. You look like hell. I turned. A man stood near a coffee shop, holding 2 cups. You talking to me? I asked. Unless someone else looks that broken, he said. I almost walked away. Coffee, he asked. No strings. I hesitated. Why? He shrugged. I've been there. I took it. Thanks. I'm Ethan, he said. I didn't ask. He smiled. Fair. We sat on the curb. You homeless? He asked. Not officially. Heartbroken? I laughed once. That obvious? You don't stare at the ground like that unless something died. Yeah, I said. Something did. He nodded. You gonna stay down? I don't know how to get up. That's honest. I drank the coffee. Why are you helping me? Because no one helped me, he said. And I survived anyway. How? Barely. I stared ahead. I don't want revenge. Good, he said. It won't fix you. I just don't want to hurt anymore. That part takes time. We sat in silence. Listen, he said. There's a clinic down the street. Free sessions. You look like you need someone who won't lie to you. I don't need therapy. He raised an eyebrow. You sure? I sighed. Fine. The office was small. A woman behind the desk smiled. Name? I gave it. Have a seat. Dr. Hale will see you. Dr. Hale didn't smile. Sit, he said. I sat. Why are you here? Because I got cheated on. That's it? No. He waited. I got replaced, I said. By my best friend. And my family sided with them. How does that make you feel? Stupid. He nodded. Anything else? Angry. Sad. Empty. Which one scares you most? Empty. He leaned back. You built your identity on being needed. I frowned. No, I didn't. You did, he said calmly. When they stopped needing you, you collapsed. I looked away. So what? So now you decide who you are without them. I don't know how. That's why you're here. I laughed bitterly. I can't even afford this. It's covered, he said. For now. For now, I repeated. After the session, I sat on a bus bench. Ethan texted me. You alive? Barely, I replied. Good enough. That night, I stared at my phone. No messages from Lena. No calls from Mark. Just silence. I mattered, I said quietly. Didn't I? The room didn't answer. Days blurred together. Cheap meals. Long walks. Too many thoughts. You're wasting time, my inner voice said. I'm surviving, I answered it. One evening, I ran into Ethan again. You look worse, he said. Progress, I replied. He laughed. Come with me. Where? Doesn't matter. We walked into a warehouse gym. You ever train? He asked. No. You will. I'm tired. So was I, he said. Still am. I watched people sweat, struggle, push. They're all broken, he said. They just chose pain with purpose. I swallowed. I don't know if I can. You already hurt, he replied. Might as well get something from it. I thought of Lena's face. Mark's shrug. My mother's pause. Okay, I said. He handed me gloves. That's your first decision. Later, my arms burned. Why am I doing this? I asked. To remind yourself you exist, he said. I went back to Dr. Hale the next day. I'm angry, I said. Good, he replied. Anger means you still care. I don't want to care. Too bad. I clenched my jaw. What if I never move on? You will, he said. Or you'll disappear. Those are the options. At night, I whispered to myself. They won't win. But I wasn't sure who I was fighting yet. I only knew one thing. Rock bottom wasn't silent anymore. It was daring me to answer. I showed up at the gym before sunrise because I couldn't sleep anymore. The silence in my room felt heavier than the weights ever could. Ethan was already there. You're early, he said. I didn't want to think, I replied. He nodded. Then move. I wrapped my hands and stared at the mirror. My face looked tired, older. I'm not doing this to forgive them, I said. Good, he replied. Forgiveness is optional. I'm doing this because I don't want to disappear. That's a better reason. My arms shook after 10 minutes. I can't, I muttered. Yes, you can, Ethan said. You just don't want to feel weak. I already feel weak. Then it won't be new. I pushed again. My muscles burned. Stop thinking about them, he said. I'm not. You are. I dropped the weight. Every time I close my eyes, I hear her voice. What does it say? That I wasn't enough. Ethan leaned closer. Then prove her wrong by surviving. Living isn't proving anything. Living well is. I went to work later that day. Same job. Same pay. Different feeling. You look serious, my coworker said. I am. What changed? I stopped waiting. That night, I went back to Dr. Hale. I don't want revenge, I said. Then don't chase it, he replied. But I don't want peace either. He nodded. You want control. Yes. Control comes from discipline. I'm trying. Trying is inconsistent. I clenched my hands. I'm showing up. That's a start. After the session, a woman waited outside the office. You're always quiet, she said. So are you. She smiled slightly. Maya. I didn't ask. Seems to be your thing. I shrugged. What do you want? Coffee, she said. You look like someone who won't lie. I lie to myself a lot. Then this might help. We sat. You always this guarded, she asked. Only when people get close. Why? Because they leave. She nodded. Fair. You're not asking many questions. I don't need your story yet, she replied. Just who you are now. I don't know. Then you're honest. I trained every day after that. Some days I failed. You're shaking, Ethan said. I know. Then rest. I don't want to. Learning when to stop is strength too. I hated that he was right. One night, my phone buzzed. Lena's name lit up the screen. I stared at it. You going to answer? Ethan asked. No. You sure? Yes. The phone stopped buzzing. My chest felt tight, but I kept breathing. At work, my boss said, "You're different." I'm focused. Good, he said. I might need someone reliable. I nodded. Maya started meeting me after sessions. You don't smile much, she said. I'm practicing being quiet. Why? So I can hear myself. She studied me. You're rebuilding. I don't feel strong. Strong people rarely do. One evening, I failed a lift and slammed the bar down. I'm tired, I snapped. Ethan crossed his arms. Then say it. I'm angry, I said. I'm hurt. Say more. I wanted them to choose me. And they didn't. I nodded. So I choose myself. He smiled. There it is. Later, I sat alone and thought about forgiveness. I don't owe them peace, I whispered. I owed myself survival. The mirror showed a man still bruised, still scared, but standing. And for the first time since everything broke, I believed I might stay that way. I didn't notice the change at first. It crept in quietly, like I had. My alarm stopped feeling like an enemy. My body hurt in a cleaner way. When I walked, my shoulders stayed straight without effort. Ethan noticed before I did. You're standing different, he said. I always stood like this. He laughed. No, you didn't. At work, my boss waved me over. You free tonight? He asked. For more work? For better work, he said. You've been consistent. I nodded. I can handle it. I know, he replied. That's new. The extra money wasn't much, but it breathed. I paid rent early. I bought real groceries. I sat across from Maya one evening. You look calmer, she said. I sleep now. That helps. So does not begging people to stay. She smiled slightly. Growth looks good on you. I didn't answer. Compliments still made me uneasy. A week later, I ran into Mark outside a bar. He blinked. Is that you? Last I checked, I said. He laughed. Damn. You look different. Life does that. He shifted. You been good? I'm alive. He nodded too fast. Lena talks about you sometimes. I don't. That landed. She misses you, he added. I shrugged. People miss what they lose. He frowned. You don't have to be cold. I'm not, I said. I'm clear. He looked away. We should catch up. I'm busy. With living, I didn't say. Later that night, Lena texted me. Hey. Can we talk? I stared at the screen. Maya watched me. You don't have to answer. I know. I typed, about what? Us. I replied, there is no us. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. I just want closure, she wrote. I smiled without humor. You already closed that door. At the gym, Ethan tossed me a towel. You finally stopped bleeding in front of people, he said. I learned where to cut myself off. That's power. I scoffed. Feels small. Quiet power always does. A man watched me train that day. Older. Calm. You don't rush, he said. I used to, I replied. I'm Victor, he said. Discipline recognizes discipline. I'm just surviving. He smiled. Not anymore. We talked between sets. You don't talk much, he said. I spent years explaining myself. Didn't work. Smart lesson. At home, my phone buzzed again. My mom. Your father wants to talk. I waited an hour before replying. About what? He's worried. I laughed quietly. Tell him I learned how to worry alone. She didn't respond. At dinner with Maya, she watched me closely. They're circling back, she said. I noticed. How does it feel? I thought for a moment. Like watching a house burn after you already moved out. She nodded. Don't go back. I'm not. Even if they beg? I don't belong to them anymore. She smiled. Good. The next day, Lena showed up outside my place. You look healthy, she said. You look familiar. She swallowed. I messed up. I know. I didn't know you'd change. I met her eyes. I didn't know you'd stay the same. That hurt her. Can we try again? She asked. I shook my head. You didn't leave because I was poor. You left because you were impatient. That's not fair. It's honest. She cried. I regret it. I don't, I said. She froze. I regret trusting people who needed me weak. I walked past her. Behind me, she whispered my name. I didn't turn around. That night, I sat alone and felt something new. Not anger. Not pride. Control. And I knew then, the hardest part for them wasn't losing me when I was poor. It was realizing they lost me forever when I stopped asking to be chosen. I didn't plan to watch them fall. I just stopped reaching out, and gravity did the rest. Mark called first. Man, things are crazy right now, he said. That so? I replied. Yeah. Work's unstable. Lena's stressed. Everyone's stressed. I stayed quiet. You there? He asked. I'm listening. He sighed. I could use a favor. I smiled to myself. I don't have any to give. There was a pause. You're still mad? No, I said. I'm just not involved. That's cold. That's distance. He laughed nervously. You always talk like you're better than us now. I don't, I said. I just stopped shrinking. He hung up without saying goodbye. A week later, Lena showed up again. I didn't think you'd ignore me, she said. I didn't think you'd come back. She crossed her arms. You're punishing me. I'm protecting myself. Her voice cracked. Mark lost his job. I heard. You could help. Why would I? She stared at me. Because you're not heartless. I nodded. Exactly. She stepped closer. We're struggling. So was I said. You didn't notice. That's not fair. You keep saying that, I replied. But fairness never mattered before. She looked around. You live better now. I live quieter. She laughed bitterly. You're enjoying this. I'm not enjoying anything, I said. I'm just not saving anyone anymore. She whispered, I didn't think you'd let me fall. I met her eyes. You let me fall first. She left without another word. At the gym, Ethan watched me hit the bag harder than usual. You're angry, he said. No, I replied. I'm tempted. To do what? To step in. And? I won't. He nodded. Good. That's growth. Victor joined us later. People who disrespect you panic when you stop explaining, he said. They're spiraling, I replied. Not your responsibility. I exhaled. It still feels heavy. Because you cared, he said. That doesn't disappear overnight. Maya noticed it too. You're distant tonight, she said. I keep getting calls from the past. You answering? No. She reached for my hand. You don't owe them closure. I know. Then why does it hurt? I thought for a moment. Because I wanted them to become better people. She nodded. That was never your job. My family unraveled quietly. My uncle lost face at work. My aunt stopped messaging. My parents argued more. My mother called one night. Your father's health isn't great, she said. I'm sorry to hear that. He thinks you hate him. I don't. Then why won't you come home? I closed my eyes. Because home taught me silence. She cried softly. We didn't know you were hurting. I told you, I said. You just didn't listen. She didn't argue. Mark texted later. I messed up. I stared at it. I know, I typed back. Can we talk? There's nothing to say. I miss you. I didn't reply. The rumors reached me without effort. Mark borrowing money. Lena fighting with friends. My name mentioned like a ghost. He changed, people said. No, I whispered once. I remembered myself. At work, my boss handed me new responsibilities. You're reliable, he said. That matters. I nodded. It always did. At night, guilt crept in. Am I cruel? I asked Ethan once. He shook his head. Cruelty requires action. You chose restraint. It still hurts them. Consequences hurt, he said. That's not cruelty. I saw Lena one last time that month. She looked tired. You win, she said. I frowned. This isn't a game. It feels like punishment. It's absence, I replied. You're feeling the space I used to fill. She swallowed. I didn't know you mattered that much. I smiled sadly. Neither did I. She reached out, then stopped herself. I hope you're happy, she said. I hope you learn, I replied. She turned away. That night, I sat alone and felt the weight lift slightly. Not because they were hurting, but because I wasn't carrying them anymore. I didn't chase revenge. I didn't need to. I just stayed standing while they stumbled on the ground they helped dig. And for the first time, that was enough. Mark asked to meet first. He chose a quiet cafe, like noise might expose him. I didn't think you'd come, he said. I didn't promise I would, I replied. He swallowed. You look steady. I worked for that. He nodded. I messed everything up. I didn't answer. I mean it, he said. I ruined my job. My relationships. I ruined us. You made choices, I said. They just finally caught up. He leaned forward. I was jealous. I raised an eyebrow. Of me? You never quit, he said. Even when life beat you down. I laughed once. You called that weakness. I was wrong. I know. He winced. Can you forgive me? I stared into my coffee. Why? So I can move on. That's not forgiveness, I said. That's relief. He looked down. I hate who I became. You should, I replied. It fits. He flinched. You don't have to be cruel. I'm not, I said calmly. I'm honest. He rubbed his face. I miss my brother. I died that day, I said. You helped bury him. Silence stretched. I don't expect us to be the same, he said. I just don't want to lose you forever. You already did, I replied. He whispered my name. I stood. Take care of yourself. That was all. Lena came next. She didn't sit. I won't beg, she said. That's new. She sighed. I loved you. You loved what I gave, I said. That's not fair. You keep saying that, I replied. But you never stayed when it mattered. She looked at me. I was scared. So was I. She stepped closer. I didn't know losing you would feel like this. That's the problem, I said. You didn't know until it hurt you. Tears filled her eyes. I'm sorry. I believe you, I said. Hope flashed across her face. But sorry doesn't reopen doors, I added. Her shoulders dropped. You really changed. No, I said. I stopped explaining. She shook her head. I wish you'd fought for me. I did, I replied. You just weren't listening. She cried quietly. Do you hate me? I thought for a moment. No. Then why does this feel worse? Because indifference lasts longer than anger. She covered her mouth. I don't recognize you. That makes two of us. She reached for my arm, then pulled back. Goodbye, she whispered. Goodbye, I replied. My parents called that night together. We want to talk, my father said. I'm listening. You shut us out, my mother said. I learned it from you. My father cleared his throat. We failed you. I paused. Yes. Silence followed. We thought pressure would motivate you, he said. It broke me, I replied. My mother cried. We're sorry. I believe you, I said again. Can we fix this, she asked. I exhaled. I don't know yet. That's fair, my father said quietly. We ended the call gently. Maya waited when I got home. How did it go? She asked. They apologized. And it didn't change anything. She nodded. How do you feel? Tired, I said. But lighter. She smiled. That's closure. Later, I stood alone and listened to the quiet. I realized something then. Their regret wasn't my responsibility. Their pain wasn't my burden. I didn't win. I didn't lose. I walked away whole. And that was something no apology could ever buy back. I stopped waiting for noise to tell me I mattered. That was the biggest change. Mornings became simple. I woke up. I moved. I worked. No chaos chasing me out of bed. Ethan noticed it during training. You don't fight the weight anymore, he said. I let it be heavy, I replied. He nodded. That's control. Victor watched from the corner. Power used to scare you, he said. I thought it meant hurting others. And now? It means not reacting. He smiled. That lesson takes most people a lifetime. At work, my boss handed me a set of keys. You earned this, he said. I looked at them. I won't waste it. I know, he replied. That's why you got them. Maya met me after. You're quiet again, she said. I'm thinking. About them? No, I said. About me. She leaned against the table. That's new. I used to measure myself by who stayed. And now? By who I am when no one's watching. She smiled. I like this version. I'm still learning it. That's okay. We walked in silence. Do you ever feel guilty? She asked. For what? For leaving people behind. I thought for a moment. I feel sad. Not guilty. Difference? Guilt means I did something wrong. And you didn't. I survived, I said. They just didn't like how. At the gym, someone asked me for help. Can you spot me? He said. I nodded. You train like you know yourself, he added. I had to lose everything to hear my own voice. He didn't understand, but he didn't need to. That night, my phone buzzed. A message from my sister. You seem different. I am, I replied. Happier? I paused. Calmer. I'm glad, she wrote. So was I. Maya watched me cook. You're not distracted tonight, she said. I'm here. With me? With myself, I replied. You're a bonus. She laughed softly. Careful. That confidence is dangerous. It's quiet, I said. People don't notice until it's gone. Later, alone, I thought about forgiveness again. I don't hate them, I whispered. I just didn't need them. The mirror reflected a man who no longer asked permission to exist. And for the first time, that was enough. I saw them again by accident, which felt right. Closure never comes when you plan it. I was leaving work when I heard my name. I didn't turn right away. Hey, Lena said softly. I faced her. Mark stood a few steps behind her, hands in his pockets, like he wasn't sure where he belonged anymore. You look busy, Mark said. I am, I replied. Lena nodded. We won't take long. You already are, I said, not unkindly. They exchanged a look. We heard you got promoted, Mark said. I worked for it. I know, he replied quickly. That's what I wanted to say. I waited. I used to think you were weak, he continued. But you were just patient. I was scared, I said. There's a difference. Lena swallowed. We talk about you sometimes. I don't, I replied. That silence hit harder than anger ever could. We didn't think you'd actually move on, she said. I didn't move on, I replied. I moved forward. Mark rubbed his neck. Do you ever miss us? I thought about it honestly. I miss who I thought you were. Lena's eyes filled. I wish I could go back. I don't, I said. If I did, I'd lose everything I became. She nodded slowly. You're really gone. Yes. Mark stepped closer. If things were different. They're not, I interrupted. And they never will be. He stopped. You don't hate us, he said. No, I replied. Hate would mean you still matter that way. Lena flinched. I'm not trying to hurt you, I added. I'm just done. She whispered my name. I smiled gently. Take care of yourselves. I walked past them without looking back. At home, Maya waited on the couch. You look lighter, she said. I ran into ghosts, I replied. And? They stayed ghosts. She smiled. Proud of you. I sat beside her. I didn't win. You did, she said. Just not loudly. Later that night, I stood by the window and watched the city breathe. I thought about the man I used to be. The one who begged to be chosen. The one who thought pain was proof of love. I didn't deserve that, I said quietly. I deserved better. And I became it. They ignored me when I was poor. When I was tired. When I was easy to overlook. Now they were fighting for a place in my life. And losing. Not because I pushed them away. But because I finally learned how to walk forward without dragging anyone behind me. That was the justice. That was the ending. And for the first time, it felt complete.